So what is up, guys? You got your boy Jet Stinger here today, and today we are back with some reverse 1999 content for you guys here today. And today we're gonna be doing a video on Marcus's best team. Now notice I say team, and I'll explain why that is actually an issue later on in the video when we talk over the team. And without further ado, let's go over to the team selection screen and let's show you what is potentially her best team. Alright, so we are here looking at Marcus's potential best team. This is the same team that was in her Lighthouse event if you haven't done it already. It is ideally her best team for a few reasons, and I'll explain why. The biggest reason out of the gate is because of her I3 condition. If you guys don't know, Marcus has a I3 condition that specifically states that she needs to have a total party of 3 either spirit, plant, or intelligence based characters in your party. So out of your party of potentially 4, you need to have 3 of those spots filled with either a plant, a spirit, or intelligence character. It doesn't matter how you do it, whether you go 2 plant, 1 spirit, 2 plant, 1 plant, because obviously Marcus herself counts as the 1 plant. So you go 1 plant, 2 spirit, or 1 plant, 1 intelligence, 1 spirit. It doesn't really matter which way how you go about it, so long as you are able to hit the condition reliably and comfortably. So let's talk about this potential team. Let's talk about some potential candidates and let's break it down. So Marcus's I3 condition specifically states this because if you are able to fulfill the condition, you get a unique effect called the Percival status, which is a buff that is undispellable that gives her +1 moxie every single time she casts a 2 to 3 star incantation. With Marcus's big entire thing revolving around casting 2 to 3 star incantations because of how she works, this is the best team that I could possibly find. There are better options that will come later, and I'll talk about that towards the end of the video, but that is ideally the best options that we have right now, and I'll break them down and I'll talk about potential candidates that you can sub out with. First is Isolde. Isolde is going to be here because she can lower critical resist down. That is the main reason why you're using. Of course, extra chip damage with Intermezzo is always going to be a great helpful factor. But that's really just the main thing here. Is just her ability to lower critical resist down. That critical defense down is going to be big. That critical defense is going to be helping Marcus hit a little harder when she does crit, which of course is always appreciated. And Isolde's natural ability to give you up to 75% damage boost with the combination of her ultimate and of course with her being in the finale status, which gives you a stack of power burst. So that's a potentially good way to really build up damage on Marcus, just like that. So the critical defense down, the 7% damage boost, the extra chip damage for Intermezzo, always going to be a great option for Marcus's ideal team currently in global. 6 is going to be our buffer of choice. He can buff and of course debuff more reliably than Isolde can. Of course, critical defense again, very helpful, but of course we have access to other debuffs that can increase either AoE or ST damage, which Marcus has both of. She prefers AoE because her ultimate's AoE, but AoE and ST, since she does have both, 6 can both debuff that with, I believe, the blind effect and the miss aim effect. So that is really good. He also has his own critical defense down, but I believe it only prioritizes debuffs not yet applied. So if you apply Isolde's first, then do his, then of course you have the opportunity to get the other things. You also have mental shred in here as well, which of course is actually important. And of course, one of the biggest reasons why 6 is the preferred support over potential other options, which I'll talk about in just a moment, is he has the ability to rank her up with Empower Incantation. The cool thing about this is, of course, when you get 5 stacks of Eureka on 6, you can buff with 6 to give her any sort of random buff, but it also gives her Empower Incantation. So what this could do for Marcus is potentially let her go from a 1-star cast to a 3-star cast, or even just, more consistent 2-star cast over across the board, which is again a great factor for getting her into her ultimate as quickly as you can, getting her to more damage potential as quickly as you can. So that's why ideally 6 is a great option here because of its utility on buffing, the dispel that does help her with the mental shred, the damage boost coming from blind and miss aim, and of course the ability to empower up her own incantation. 2 Fairy is of course the flex spot that we have as our healer. Of course, you don't necessarily have to use Two Fairy. Of course, Two Fairy and Isolde have great synergy together because Two Fairy lowers critical rate and Isolde lowers critical defense, which of course will overall benefit your carry's main damage. But if you don't have TF, then you can just run any healer that you have. So Yensei, Bloom Party, you know, whatever healer you have. So let's talk about potential replacements that you can run. Now, while they're not as great as this team, they're still helpful options. So first things first is going to be Anali. Anali is the main reason, though the main reason you want to take Anali is strictly for the damage buff up effect. She doesn't really do too much else besides having the I3 synergy. That's really just it. Not you're running her over 6 is kind of an effective loss because you don't have a lot of access to the other things. But still, Marcus Anali is still a pretty solid core. Another unit you can run for the sake of synergy is actually Druvis. Druvis, if I could find her, I think I may have passed her. Yep, Druvis. So Druvis is really good because of her Circle of Life effect, which gives damage heal and leech rate, which of course keeps Marcus healthy. And if there's any content out there that can petrify, that still does help. Diggers is a very cope option because you know he does have the ability to lower both mental and reality defense, and yeah, and terror is just Moxie disruption. But if you really have copium in your heart, then you can run Diggers for just the dual disruption there. But I personally prefer anyone else because Diggers is just overall not a great unit, and it's kind of cope if you were to use them. But other than that, that's really just the only units that work with her. It's kind of unfortunate because, of course, her I3 condition is so tight on what you prefer because of it being spirit and intelligence characters. If she had more freedom, maybe like Star or something, then it would be a lot more easier because, technically speaking, a normal team, if it was just Plant, Star, and Spirit, then you would have more freedom options with like your support options and everything like that. So, yeah. But to harper further on that is there's actually better options that will be coming in the future for Marcus. One of the best options that will be coming as part of in the next couple weeks is going to be none other than Vila. Vila is big for Marcus because Vila is going to give Marcus critical rate and critical damage up as a buff. It's also going to give her a stack of power burst when she's in her unique song effect. She also gives she also is the premier new universal buffer because if you're a mental unit you get stronger effects of the critical rate, critical damage. She's also a very great healer. She's, I think, the best raw healer in the game, I think. So that's another potentially great option for her is if you can get Vila, then you can look to start to replace either one of these two, probably 6, for someone else. You can probably fit whatever support option you can run. You can again maybe potentially run Urza as a slot option because you now have the 2-1 option that works. So you can potentially do that and then still have good viability when it comes to having a solid team for Marcus. A little bit later on, she does get access to Mercuria, who is a 2.0 support, and that is going to be your reason to maybe replace Isolde because Mercuria gives she also gives crit rate, crit damage, I believe. She gets Incantation Might Up, which is technically really good for Marcus because of how consistently she likes to rank up to 2 to 3 stars. So yeah, if you end up getting Mercuria, that's kind of like her best option. The level adjustment effect is also really cool. That works really well with Marcus as well. So that's the ideal team you would personally like to run with her. But that's really going to be it. That's going to be like the real ideal setting of what is potentially Marcus's best teams and what is the general way you should build her. Is you want to build her around that I3. That I3 is just too big to pass up on. So yeah. But anyway, this has been your boy Stingren. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.